Here's a step-by-step guide to plumbing quantity takeoffs. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to take a set of construction drawings like this and to quickly turn them into a complete bill of materials using the assembly method. So there's going to be 3 steps to this process. First, we're going to understand the different systems and what is actually shown on the drawings. Then we're going to build a library of assemblies from which we can then measure items on the drawings and then derive a full bill of materials. Then finally, the easiest part is we're going to actually go through and measure what's shown on the plans. And I'll put a link in the video description to a plumbing quantity takeoff spreadsheet you can use and a library of assemblies that you can go from taking your primary quantities like the length of pipe or the number of fittings and basins and how to derive a full bill of quantities from this. Okay, so first I want to start by actually explaining plumbing systems, because if you don't understand this part, it's impossible to read and understand and interpret the drawings and then derive the bill of quantities. If you do have some experience with plumbing, then feel free to skip this part because it's probably going to be a little basic. But when we're talking about plumbing systems, we're talking about 5 separate subsystems. We've got cold drinking water or cold water supply. We have our hot water supply. We have sanitary drainage, sometimes referred to as wastewater. We have stormwater drainage, which we refer to as our rainwater system. And then sometimes we'll have a wet fire protection system, which is the sprinklers, hydrants, and the hoses and reels. Now, most of these systems we can either break down into sort of 2 key items. We've got the actual fixtures and units. For example, with a cold water supply system, we'll have taps and valves and units that we will count from the drawings. And then we will have pipe work that reticulates and distributes this that we will measure the lineal meters of. Doesn't really get much more complicated than that. But to really understand what we're measuring, we first sort of need to understand these different systems. So cold water supply is how you get water from the utility provider in the streets and distribute it to all of the taps, toilets, showers within the building. So on low-rise buildings or small commercial buildings, this will be at the water main pressure, but on high-rise buildings, we might have some sort of pump system to increase the pressure and to get the water to the top of the buildings. We can have different types of pipe. We can have copper pipe, PVC pipe, or different materials. And often there will be some sort of utility main connection, and there will be some sort of backflow prevention device which prevents water from your building or your facility flowing into the mains water supply. Now, because none of us like having a shower when it's cold, we will also have our hot water supply, which is basically we take the cold water supply and we add a water heater to it, and then we have separate pipe work that runs through the building and distributes hot water where it's required, so we can have a warm shower. Sometimes you will have tankless hot water systems, which are instantaneous boilers at the actual point where you use the hot water. And for larger buildings, we may have a recirculation pump, so you don't have hot water sitting in the pipes for ages and getting cold. Next up, we have sanitary drainage. So this is when you flush your toilet, the water goes down the sink. You have non-pressurized pipework that drains through gravity back into the sewage system in the street. So also you will have vent pipes that run through to the roof, which prevents your odorous or smelly water or smelly air that sits in these pipes running back up and the smell coming out of the toilet. So that will be sort of sanitary or vent piping that runs to the roof. Now, when you get heavy rain or floods or other items, you'll need somewhere for the water to go. That is what is referred to as stormwater drainage. So that is your roof guttering and roof plumbing and downpipes and connections to some sort of stormwater drainage system that water can flow into. Obviously, that water will then flow typically into waterways, so it needs to be segregated from your sewage and your dirty water. And then finally, on larger commercial buildings or industrial facilities, it will typically have some sort of wet fire protection system, which may have its own pump system, or it may have hydrants that the fire department can connect through, and then some pressurized distribution of that water that flows to sprinklers and so when a fire starts, the sprinklers turn on. Now, the dry fire protection system would be covered more under sort of an electrical or a service scope of work, but really for plumbing quantity takeoffs, we're really interested in these 5 different types of services. And all of these services, it's really going to come down to 2 things. It's going to be measuring the lineal meters of pipework and reticulation, and then counting things like the number of sprinklers, the number of stormwater pits, the number of hot water units we have. So it's Plumbing quantity takeoffs are very, very simple once you know what you're actually looking at. Okay, so the next part of the plumbing takeoff is to actually understand the drawings. So we understand roughly what the system is. Now we have to look at the drawings to see how this system is built on our specific project. It's really only a handful of different types of drawings. We have general notes or cover pages within which we will have sort of schedules and explainers of all these different systems. Our schedules, again, might be on the general notes page, might be on separate drawings, will give us almost all of our counts if the drawings do have schedules. So a lot of the time, instead of actually counting how many hot water units you have, you can simply refer to the schedule at the front of it, and you'll be able to see a list of all the different hot water units, for example. Then we have our layout plans. So layout plans are a scaled representation of the building, often done on the architectural layouts, and they simply show where all the different pipes are running, and then we can take our lineal measurements of this. The only thing we would have to be aware of is when there is changes in heights. For example, we have a vent stack going to the roof. We obviously need to factor in that some of these pipes will be rising vertically, so we can't simply measure the lineal meters on a 2D representation of a plan view. So typically the plumbing drawings will have schedules at the front that tell you how many of your fixtures, your fittings you have. Sometimes they won't, and you'll have to count that. But even if they don't tell you, for example, the number of fittings, they might give you references to the drawings or tags. For example, this is WC1 and a description of what that item actually consists of. Or for example, there's a trench drain and then it's got a detailed description of what that trench drain is actually made up of. Then we'll typically have a layout drawing for each of the different types of services. So this is the, what's this? This is the wastewater and vent layout drawing. Then we have a cold water reticulation drawing, which I believe also has, so they're calling this domestic water, but if you look at the legend, the cold water is, oh, I'm scrolling terribly. The cold water is as a thick black line and the hot water pipework is as a dashed black line. So we've got both those services on this one set of plans. We can also, I believe, see where the bathrooms are. You can see the water's running into that. And then we can look at, for example, where the water heaters are. So WH1, WH2, if we go to the schedule. The other way you can do this is just using Control F and searching. So yeah, that's a wall hydrant. So yeah, all the items will be shown with the text tags, and then we can reference those. Now, because this is a commercial building for a supermarket, they actually have some layout drawings for condensate drainage, where, for example, you have a fridge or some sort of evaporative cooler and it causes a lot of condensation. They've got a separate set of drawings showing how these condensate units, the drip trays, will then go and connect to the plumbing. And they also have a gas. They're also showing, no, sorry, this is the plumbing roofing plan. So this is the stormwater drainage on the roof and how that flows into the downpipes. And then they're also showing a dimension plan which shows the set off to all of the different points. So you could use this to get more accurate measurements. Okay, so those are our layout drawings. The final part of this is sort of talking about, we've got schedules and general notes. We've got our layout drawings where we can get our lineal meters of pipework, and then the end, we have section views, which are detailed sort of close-ups or maybe even isometrics, like you can see here, of the exact connection arrangements. Okay, so how are you actually going to use all this information and basically turn this into a full bill of quantities? Well, number one, you need to work out what you need to measure. So for us, this is going to be for the different trades, so cold water, hot water, plumbing. We're going to need both the counts of all the fixtures, fittings, and units that we're installing, and we're going to need the lineal meters of that. And then we're going to then need to work out our assemblies. So an assembly is, if you think of measuring the lineal meters of pipe, is what I refer to as a primary quantity. It's something you physically measure on the drawings, but associated with that primary quantity, we'll have a whole list of items to install that. So for example, per lineal meter of pipe, we might need a hanger, we might need some sealant, we might need fixtures to connect the pipe. So rather than actually, and it's impossible to do this, rather than actually counting how many hangers we need, which would be impossible from the drawings, we take the primary quantity that we measure, which is the linear meters of pipe, and then we derive the number of hangers and other units from that. So that is what is referred to as an assembly. Now, some people within their assemblies will only include materials, but for example, if you're doing an estimate, often it's good to include that your labor within that assembly. So for example, a floor-mounted toilet. For every one we count on the drawings, we also need a cistern, we need a seat and cover, we need a connector with an S-trap collar for the wastewater, we need a flexible water connection for the actual water supply to the toilet, we need a stop valve, we need the floor fixings, we need silicone to seal it, we need 2 meters of pipe, we need 2 meters of a cold water branch, we need pipe fittings, then we need labor to install it. So 1.5 hours for the rough-in, 0.75 for the fit off, and 0.25 to test and commission. So obviously these numbers you could change depending on your specific type of toilet and the labor allowances you want to leave. But what this really means is for every one of these we count on the drawings, these are going to be our secondary quantities that we derive from this. Now, if I was doing the estimate for the project, I would include the labor hours within my assembly. But if I am only doing the bill of materials because I want to order this material, I wouldn't worry about the labor. I'd be much more worried about getting these secondary quantities correct. The tool I'm using to view these set of drawings is just Bluebeam, but I find Bluebeam for quantity takeoffs isn't great. I much prefer, and I'm using a lot now, a tool called ZZ Takeoff. But whether you use ZZ Takeoff, Bluebeam, PlanSwift, whatever, the process is all exactly the same depending on what software you use. So it doesn't really matter what software you actually use, but the principle we're going to follow is we're going to set up an assembly in this. We're going to set up assemblies for all our different items, and then we're going to measure this on the plans, and the software is automatically going to derive our full bill of materials from our primary quantity takeoff. So the first example I'm going to give you is a linear count, which is where we measure the linear meters of pipework. So first we need to set up an assembly for what we're actually going to be measuring. So this is the waste and vent water. So I'm going to create a new linear count. I will auto scale these drawings. Now I'm personally going to struggle with this because these drawings are in imperial and I can't think in imperial, I only think in metric, but let's try. So let's call this takeoff wastewater pipe. And so that is going to be our primary quantity, which is a linear meter measurement of wastewater pipe. So next we have to put in our secondary bill of materials associated with that. So that is going to be DN100 PVC pipe, which is just linear. We're going to put 5% wastage on that, and we're going to round up to the nearest 3 meters because they come in 3 meters length. And that is going to be the unit is going to be linear meters. The next one is we're going to need our actual pipe supports or hangers. Let's create this as hangers, and we're going to need a hanger every 3 meters. So it's going to be the linear meters divided by, no, it's probably going to be every 2 meters, isn't it? Rounding up to the nearest one. And again, we won't put any wastage on the hangers, and that is going to be a count unit. So it's going to be the linear meters divided by 2. So 1 hanger every 2 meters. We're going to say we're going to have a connector every, let's say on average 3 meters. So call this pipe connectors. It's going to be every 3 meters. We're going to have 5% wastage on here, and it's going to be round up to the nearest 1. Let's say, and then the install, it's going to be 0.25 man hours per meter. So we need plumber, the linear meters times 0.25 because they could install 4 meters in an hour. We won't put any wastage on that, and this will be in man hours, and to install it, they are also going to need a scissor lift because it's going to be hung in the roof. So we'll create a new equipment, scissor lift. It's going to be the number of meters, and we're going to use the same productivity as the install because, for instance, if you're installing it in 0.25 hours, you also need a scissor lift for 0.25 hours, and that is going to be man hours. So once I've got that set up, I can then simply measure the linear meters of pipe from the drawings. I say linear meters, but oh yep, it's put in an imperial for me. So I simply go through and measure it, and I'll only do this section so it doesn't get boring, but you very quickly get the point of how to do this. But you can see I've got wastewater pipe, I've got 62 meters, which means I need 66 meters because it's rounding up to the closest 3 meter length of PVC pipe. I need 32 hangers, 22 pipe connectors, 15 hours of a plumber, and 15 hours of a scissor lift. Now, for the actual floor traps, I could use a count measurement for this. So I'll create a new count, which is wastewater traps. And I'm going to have a grate. It's just going to be a point count. There's going to be no wastage on that. It's going to be each. I'm going to then have a P trap for below that, which is the S bend below the pipe, so you don't get you get water blocking the odor coming up. So that's just going to be, again, a point count. It's going to be the same count as that. We're going to need 2 linear meters of fittings per, let's say 2 linear meters of, oh, that's probably a bit much, but let's say DNC 100 PVC pipe. Let's allow 5% wastage, and we're going to assume we could use the offcuts of the other pipe, and let's say we need 0.5 meters per floor trap. So that's 0.5 meters additional to what we measure on the lineals. That's going to be linear meters. And we're going to need, let's put in there some silicon to seal it. Silicon, and that is going to be 0.5 by 0.25, and that is going to be, say, tubes of silicon. And the final one is we're going to put on there the labor to install it, and let's just say plumber by 2 hours per floor trap, and that's going to be in man hours. Then for the actual floor traps, I simply count how many there are on the plans. Again, it's super difficult, but it's this concept that when I count 10, it's telling me I need 10 grates, 10 P traps, 5.25 additional linear meters of the pipe. I need 2.5 tubes of silicone and 20 man hours to install. Again, these aren't perfect takeoffs. I'm doing this purely to explain the concept of how to do it. Again, you would have to extend this for the full set of plans and set up your own library of assemblies. So often these assemblies will be very typical from project to project. The only thing worth paying attention to is to look at the schedule, which will tell you the exact bits of information you need to build your assemblies and tailor them to a specific project. For example, a trench drain, you would get, it says it's 12-inch wide, heavy-duty channel, slope, precast polymer concrete trench drain system, sloped at 1% towards the outlet. So that is just, so if you have a standard assembly for a trench drain, which might just say polymer blah, 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 or precast polymer shell, you could just customize it to being 12-inch wide, would be the level of customization you have to do for the project. Or if I show you another example, this is a water closet, and this is a Virtuous China wall-hung siphon jet, 1.5-inch top spud with Sloan Ecos A01. Battery-powered, sensor-operated, auto dual flush valve with polished chrome finish. So that is the information that would go into your assembly. So basically what you work out is for every WC1 water closet, this is the information, or these are the bits of materials that you would use to derive your secondary quantity for that. But again, a lot of the units that you would count, they will often be in the actual schedules themselves. So you don't even have to go and count them all in the drawings. You can simply refer to the items in the schedule to get your counts or your bill of materials for this. Again, takeoffs are super easy if you actually understand what you're looking at. I'm not amazing with plumbing stuff. I have a pretty good understanding of it, but really, if you understand what the drawings are actually showing, that this is wastewater, this is cold water, this is hot water system will have some sort of boiler or heat unit. It'll have hot water piping that's separate to cold water piping. If you sort of understand things in that level of detail, you understand this concept of an assembly and how to set up your assembly specific to a project, then you can very quickly and very simply complete your quantity takeoffs.